Xabi Alonso, that's the name on everyone's lips in Spain right now. After a turbulent last season, Los Blancos bid farewell to Carlo Ancelotti, and now the young Spanish tactician who conquered Germany is back home. He brings with him a sense of optimism and, somewhat surprisingly, the weight of serious expectation, because despite their torrid season last time out, Real entered this campaign as the outright favourites to claim La Liga glory, with Barcelona not far behind despite being the dominant force in Spain last season. And so the big question remains: can Xabi Alonso truly rebuild Real Madrid and reclaim supremacy in La Liga, or are we headed towards yet another season of frustration and missed opportunities? Well, buckle up, because in today's video we are breaking down everything, delivering our official predictions for La Liga 25-26 season. There's actually nowhere else to start but with Real Madrid. It's a new dawn at the Bernabeu. With Xabi Alonso in the dugout, the vibe around this team is totally different. We can't deny Carlo Ancelotti gave Madrid trophies, but many fans, including myself, felt that his approach was too cautious and a little outdated. And in that respect, Florentino Perez could not have gone for a more different manager. Xabi Alonso is young, energetic, deeply connected to the club's culture, and most importantly, he's a manager who believes in risk and giving youth a chance. Wait, who said youth? Oh yeah, I did. And now that we're on the topic of youth, let's talk about Real's exciting new generation. We've got Gonzalo Garcia, and I feel like we need to take a second to really talk about him. He was the top scorer for Real Madrid Castilla last year, and now he's been drafted into the senior team and is absolutely lighting it up. Were you guys watching him at the Club World Cup? Whoa, this kid actually made me forget about Kylian Mbappé. That's how good he was. It genuinely feels like watching a young Raul all over again. And then there's Arda Güler. You could tell last season he was genuinely frustrated by his lack of playing time. But now Xabi Alonso has basically given him the keys to the midfield. His technique, his vision, his confidence in tight spaces, it's all elite. And don't even get me started on Dean Huijsen, a centre-back with the passing range of a midfielder and the composure of a veteran. This guy is something special. If you haven't seen him yet, trust me, you will. And yes, we also have to talk about Real Madrid's three superstars. Sometimes I like to call them the three horsemen: Mbappé, Bellingham, and Vinicius Jr. Mbappé proved he is that guy last season. 31 league goals and the golden boot in his first ever season in La Liga. Vini and Bellingham were also good, but they were nowhere near the level they were at the season before. Xabi wants all three to contribute defensively as well, to rotate and to create space for each other. Boy, if he manages to pull this off, well then we could be witnessing the most terrifying attack in world football. Oh, also, let's not forget about the reinforcements. Real Madrid finally addressed the right back gap from last season by signing Trent Alexander-Arnold. Look, say what you will about his defending, but in an attacking setup like this, Trent's passing and vision can absolutely thrive. We've literally already seen it on display at the Club World Cup. My big worry though for Madrid is their midfield, particularly their control of it. The Kroos, Modric, Casemiro era is officially over, and despite Tchouaméni, Valverde and Camavinga bringing energy and physicality, none of them truly dictates tempo like Kroos and Modric used to. Arda Güler is one player that might grow into this role eventually, but as things stand right now, he's still more of a creator than a controller. Another major problem point for Madrid: injuries. Last season was absolutely horrible for Real in terms of injuries. Alaba, Militao and Carvajal all spent the majority of last term out and are only just now returning. If they can regain form quickly, then I think Madrid's defense will hold. But that's a big if, and they could very well suffer the same problems of last season. We all saw this, especially in the El Clásicos, where Real Madrid absolutely got embarrassed by Barcelona last season. 4 Clásico defeats, a goal difference of 16-7. The defense was the big problem then, and now Madrid need to flip this narrative this year. And speaking of the El Clásico, Barcelona will be the team Madrid will need to overcome. They are the defending champions after all, and their headline star, Lamine Yamal. Is there any more we can say about this 18-year-old that hasn't been said already? Well, we are still going to try anyway. Slick on the ball, ice cold in front of goal, and he's just been handed the iconic number 10 shirts. And you know what? He absolutely deserves it. He's not afraid of the spotlight, he thrives in it. The opportunity to unite their star teenager with yet another sensational youngster Nico Williams was missed, but it's become almost a running theme now in Barcelona about their transfer sagas, and yet they keep finding ways to overcome these setbacks. Their manager Hansi Flick is a key factor in this. He has brought energy, structure, and a pressing style that fits these young players perfectly. Joan Garcia arrives as well, a goalkeeper that brings a fresh look to Barcelona's backline, and their midfield with Pedri and Gavi back on form looks ready to absolutely dictate games once again. It actually blows my mind that the odds may not have Barcelona as outright favorites, but if their youth keeps performing like this, well then don't be surprised at all if they finish top of the pile once again. It would certainly be remiss of me if I did not touch on Atletico Madrid as well. Guys, if you are really sleeping on Simeone's side because of how they fell out of the title race last season, then it seems you have not been paying attention at all. Defensively, they were the absolute best team in the league last term. Jan Oblak was a wall. 15 clean sheets, minimal mistakes, and yet another Zamora trophy. But it's in attack where it feels like Atleti is finally waking up. Julian Alvarez, after a slow start, found his rhythm and started scoring in the biggest games. But it's not just him. Alexander Soloth is a different kind of striker, but he's an absolute beast as well. There is one issue though with Atleti, and that's creatively. Antoine Griezmann at 34 looks like he's finally slowing down. He literally had just a single goal in 2025, and while Alex Baena has been brought in to spark some magic, it feels like a lot to ask from a newcomer in a system that doesn't always favor flair players. And then there's also the possession aspect. Atleti averaged just 52% last season. For context, they were a whopping 7th in the league in that stats. That's nowhere near enough if you want to win a league title over a 38-game season. Despite all of this though, Simeone's men have defied the odds before, and so there is really no counting them out in a title discussion. Could we have some surprise contenders in the La Liga title race this season though? I'm thinking about a team like Athletic Bilbao, and I don't know, yeah, they have a really solid team, had a fantastic last season, and with Nico Williams essentially committing his future to the San Mems, Bilbao could certainly be a really interesting prospect in the next few seasons. Okay, it's time to talk about the Champions League spots now. Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atleti, pretty much like every other season, kind of feels like they're logged in. But thanks to UEFA's updated format, La Liga now gets 5 spots. So there's the chance for a couple of the underdogs to grab a spot at Europe's top table. There's honestly something about Real Sociedad I like. They couldn't see it through last term, but without European distractions this season, they can fully focus on domestic fixtures. That could be a massive advantage. Athletic Bilbao are also always a strong contender, and they are certainly a tough team to beat at home. I still think they don't have the squad depth needed to challenge the big boys of the league. Currently, as things stand, all of that burden seems to be on Nico Williams. And what about Villarreal? Well, they've got a squad that I think can handle both La Liga and the Champions League, so if they manage rotation well, I expect they'll be right in the mix once again. It's really just all about consistency. One good month can catapult a team straight into the top 4, and then one bad month after can mean you are essentially out of Europe entirely. Teams definitely need to be on their A game all season long. Alright, now let's move to the Europa League and Conference League spots. Real Betis remains a team full of magic and flair, even if they don't get Anthony back for next season. They already have Isco pulling the strings, but I think they need a proper striker to finish their chances, and they'll definitely drop points if they cannot sort that out. And Valencia, man, what do we even say? So much talent, so much promise. But unless the coaching situation settles, it could be yet another season of missed opportunity. Okay, so with all that we've said, which way are we at SportyTrader leaning? Well, for our champions, we are going with Real Madrid to lift the title. Our top 5, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, and a dark horse pick, Real Sociedad. We believe Villarreal grab the Europa League spots, and more than likely, Real Betis takes the Conference League slots. And what about our top scorer? It's Kylian Mbappé, of course. Easy pick. It's really hard to look past him, but don't be surprised at all to see Gonzalo Garcia make a surprise appearance in the Pichichi race. And what about most assists? Well, we think it's either going to be Nico Williams or Lamine Yamal. Both play really unselfish football at times, plus they are absolutely rapid and almost impossible to contain on their day. And for our breakout player next season, well, there are a lot of candidates, but we are going to have to give it to Alex Baena. I think if he shines, Atleti gets a whole new dimension. So that's the preview of the upcoming La Liga season from us here at SportyTrader. But now it's your turn. Who's winning La Liga? Can Xabi Alonso actually make it work in his debut season? Will Yamal carry Barcelona to glory once again? Or is Simeone cooking up another surprise run? Drop all of your predictions in the comments and make sure to smash the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming previews of the rest of Europe's top 5 leagues. Also, to stay up to date with the La Liga next season, be sure to check out our website SportyTrader.com regularly for all the previews and predictions for all of the Spanish top flight games. Thanks so much for watching SportyTrader, and we'll see you in the next one.